Alright, so for our stress test, we've got about 20 pieces of orange cotton duck. Cotton duck is kind of like a canvas material. It's similar to denim, but a little bit more tightly woven. It's what they use in Carhartt jeans, if you're familiar with that. So what we're going to do is just keep sewing layers of this together until it can't sew through anymore. So we're going to start with 2 layers of cotton duck. Alright, so this will be 6 layers, and this is about as much as I ever need to do on even my heaviest messenger bags, so let's see how it does with 6. No problem at all. Alright, I'm at 12 layers now, and I can't actually even slide it under the presser foot, so I'm at the point where I have to actually lift this in order to get that in there. So this is layer number 12, and does not seem to have a problem. Wow. This is 16 layers. I can't imagine why anyone would ever need to do this, but just so you know, you can with this machine. Okay. Now, for the first time, I can finally hear it kind of starting to slow down, but it's still just blasted right through that. Okay. Alright. I think that's our first official complete failure. And as you could hear, it was really struggling. So it got halfway through before the thread gave out. And I bet if I used like an upholstery thread or even just a slightly higher quality thread, this would have done fine. Because it still went through all of these layers without a problem. So there's all of our seams in the back. And this just sewed 19 and a half. We'll call it 20 layers of cotton duck together. Now, just for fun, I want to see how thick this really is. So I've got a pair of calipers here, and I'm going to zero this out. So if I were to measure, we are at 0.42 inches or over 10.5 millimeters worth of fabric, which is, that's a lot. That is a tremendous amount of material for this machine to sew through. We're gonna do one more test real quick. Let me set up for that. Alright, the second part of our stress test is to see if this machine can sew through leather. I've never had a home recreational machine that could sew through even 1 layer of leather, and we're just using the same regular sew-all thread. So, let's see how this does with 1 layer of 4-ounce leather. And that seems to have done just fine. So I've got perfect stitches front and back. So that's just 1 layer. So let's see how this does with 2 layers. And we're going to go skin sides together. If this works, there's going to be a lot of really cool things I should be able to do with this machine when it comes to leather. So let's see how 2 layers goes. Okay. That didn't really seem to be a problem at all. So we've got nice perfect stitching, and very, very strong, and even for a very standard thread, this is a very tight seam for leather, which is very impressive for a home machine to be able to do that. Now, just for fun, we're going to just keep stacking leather and see how far this thing can go. But being able to do just 2 layers is a big deal for a home machine. Okay, so that was 3 layers, and it seemed like it was kind of trying at first, and then it was just really easy. So we've got 3 layers, that is all nice and strong. And I don't think I can fit more than 4 layers in here. So we're gonna see what happens when we do 4 layers of leather. Yeah, that is about as much as I could possibly fit in here anyway. So, let's see how this goes. Come on, buddy. Oh man, okay. So as you can see, it was actually struggling for a while. And how far did it get before the threads popped? Okay, so it got through... I don't know. It got through most of it, but the stitches up top are really strong. For this thing to be able to sew through 4 layers of leather is very, very impressive. And just as a contrast, I wanted to show you something really quick before we finish up. Okay, I wanted to show you guys an example. So this is a messenger bag I made a few weeks ago, and it's just cotton duck and denim and some flannel, and there's some stabilizer interfacing and some batting in there. But parts like this, like the box stitch, or if I'm doing the adjustable strap, my machine typically struggles really heavily with the box stitch because this is about 6 to 8 layers of denim and cotton duck and interfacing and stuff like that. And my machine will break needles or just not even be able to punch through. So I love the machine too. This is the Brother SE400. It does both sewing and embroidery. It does a great job of embroidery. I've been using it for years. But even with heavy needles, it's just not able to do what this machine here can do. The fact that we sewed, what was it? 20 layers of cotton duck together, or 4 layers of leather. I've never seen a machine do this. So I'm going to be using this machine a lot for some of my more robust projects. And I tested this on just doing some flannel earlier, and it did fine. So this machine is going to be able to do anything from garments to leather and cosplay and jackets and all kinds of stuff. So I'm really excited to see what kinds of projects I end up doing with this machine. Alright, so my stress test went on a little bit longer than I thought it would. I will probably do another video on this machine because it does buttons and buttonholes, all kinds of different stitches, and there's lots of other features that I'd like to show you guys. But for the sake of this, I think we've covered what this thing is capable of doing. And I'm really excited to see what kinds of projects that I'm able to make and that you guys are able to make with this machine here. Alright you guys, I think we've done a pretty good job of testing the limits of this brand new Brother ST150. Again, this just came out in July of 2019, and so far I am very impressed. I will probably end up using this machine every day. I'd like to invite you guys to check out my website at tockcustom.com. I not only have a lot of pictures of things I've made in the past, but I also have an online shop, and you can browse through some of that stuff. And I have a brand new tutorials menu on my website where you can see all my other videos and check out recommendations of other tools that I use. So it's kind of a sewing resource to help people who are getting into the craft. If you guys have any questions or have any other videos you'd like to see, please let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I really appreciate making this video. Big thanks to Brother for sending me this machine, and I will see you guys in the next video.